Welcome back. I'm joined by Championship correspondent Pascal Lemaire to preview the second leg of the playoff semi-final between Norwich and Ipswich. Pascal, extremely delicately poised as it stands following the 1-1 draw in the first leg last week.
Yeah, it's obviously an absolutely massive game between, they're each other's biggest rivals. It's a huge rivalry in that part of the world, and there was a biggest attendance at Portman Road for a good few years, and the atmosphere, I was there, it was an incredible atmosphere, both sets of fans, really making a lot of noise. And Ipswich, they started the game quite well. Norwich, in recent sort of meetings between the two, they've had the better of Ipswich, won both games against Ipswich this season without even conceding. So certainly, I think there was more pressure on Ipswich because Ipswich throughout the season they've had a really good home record. As many points as anyone else at Portman Road. So that's an impressive record from them. They started the game quite well. They had a great double chance inside the first 10 minutes, and John Ruddy came up with a superb double save to keep out Sears and Varney. And then Varney, he went off injured, I think it was in sort of the 20th minute, he went off. He's since been confirmed that he's ruptured his Achilles. He's going to be out for about 6 months. So that's a big blow for them, because he was actually quite a surprise starter. But his last two clubs, Blackburn and Leeds, he hasn't had the best of times, but he's enjoyed some quite good form at Ipswich, and he went off. And then Paul Anderson, the man who came on, actually got Ipswich's equaliser. Norwich took the lead. It was Johnny Howson, a really very composed finish from him. Cameron Jerome sort of barged his way down the left, could potentially say fouled Tommy Smith, but I think Smith has got to be a bit stronger there. But for me, it did look like maybe he shoved him over, but Jerome did well, surged down the left, cut it back, and it was a great finish from Howson. And that was in the 41st minute, and it looked like they'd taken the lead at a really important time, sort of just before half time. But because of Varney's injury, I think there was 6 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, and Ipswich scored in the fourth of those, Paul Anderson getting the goal. And I mentioned that Ruddy made those two really impressive saves early on, but that was good from him, but he certainly could have done better with the goal. Freddie Sears, it's sort of route one from Ipswich, they launched it up towards Daryl Murphy. I think it was Russell Martin, his defensive header wasn't great, straight to Sears, who cut in on his right and then got off a shot, and he was quite close to Ruddy. It would have been tough for him to hold, but he certainly could have pushed it more away from danger. It sort of went towards Murphy, he couldn't get a shot on target, then it broke to Anderson, and he stuck it in to sort of send the home crowd wild. And that was a big goal for Ipswich. In the second half, it was a fairly, you could see both sides were very scared of losing the game. I think neither sort of wanted to. There was very few clear-cut chances in the second half, and I think a draw was a fair result, that's for sure. And I think Ipswich, they certainly would have taken that. I think they given that Norwich, they finished third, Ipswich finished sixth. I think you look at the Norwich squad, you say that they are, there's a lot more quality there. And I think Ipswich, the only thing they wanted to do is they certainly would have wanted to not get blown away in that game. They've got a chance now going to Carrow Road. But the thing for Ipswich, I think they probably needed to win that first leg because their away form all season has not been great. They're much, like I said, they've had as many points as anyone else at home this season. Away from home, they've won just 7 games all season, just one away win in their last 7 games. That was a really impressive one against Watford, who obviously went up automatically. That was an impressive win there. But generally on their travels, Ipswich haven't been great this season. They lost on the last day of the season at Blackburn. That was a disappointing result. But then you counter that by saying Norwich. They weren't. I think Norwich had the 7th or 8th best record at home this season, so they weren't great at home. They lost some big games sort of in the second half of the season. Brentford went there and won. Middlesbrough went to Carrow Road and won. So I think it's quite delicately poised. Norwich will definitely start as favourites because there's just more quality. Like I said, Ipswich's poor away form, but Norwich do have some problems. Graben's still suspended, and I think Cameron Jerome, apart from setting up Norwich's goal, he had a really poor game in the first leg. He didn't really cause Ipswich's defence too much problems, and you wonder if Gary Hooper will get the start ahead of him. That'll be interesting to see. I think Ipswich, it wouldn't be a surprise to see them name, well, not an unchased side. I think Anderson will come in after scoring, especially. He'll come in for the injured Varney, but they should name the same team. I think Norwich, there could be possibly a couple of changes for them. I think the one that, for me, I would make if I was Alex Neil was bringing Gary Hooper, because Cameron Jerome really did very little in that first leg.
First leg, massive game. Obviously, this is even bigger. It's an incredibly big game for that part of the world in general, obviously, to make the final of the playoffs. One of the most expensive games in football. You get up to the Premier League, so it's going to be a tight game. What's your score prediction for this one?
I think it will be. I mean, it was very, very tense on Saturday, and I think it will be the same again. I think an early goal for either team could certainly swing it, but I think Ipswich will certainly accept the fact that Norwich are going to have more of the ball at home. They'll sit back a little bit. I think they'll probably try and hope, just to frustrate Norwich and then maybe grab a goal. I think they'll certainly take a draw, maybe go to extra time. And I think, I just think that Norwich's quality in the end probably will pay off. I think I think the game could finish 1-1 again, same scoreline as the first leg, but I think Norwich will just about edge it in extra time. And personally, I think that whoever goes through from this leg will win the final. I think that Middlesbrough, even though they won their first leg against Brentford, I think they look fallible there. And if Brentford pull off a turnaround, I just think they might lack a bit of experience in the final. So I think whoever goes through from this, I think it will be Norwich, and I think they're favourites to go up. And I think if they do go through, they'll win the final.
thoughts on going for a 1-1 draw in the second leg, be 2-2 on aggregate, but Norwich to go through in extra time.